People everywhere are starting to listen to him. He's going on French, British, Italian, Japanese television.
This is the Wide World of Weingarten.
Wide World of Weingarten, 11:30, January 25th. It's Tuesday in Los Angeles. The number one seeds in the NFL playoffs both lost on Saturday, so there will be no repeat champion in the NFL since the 2003-2004 Patriots. The Titans had 9 sacks, turned the ball over 3 times. The Packers scored 1 touchdown at home, had 2 kicks blocked, a punt, and a field goal. I believe that was the first time in 33 years that a punt and a kick have been blocked in a playoff game, possibly longer than 33 years. It might be the first time ever. Both games went way under, so it was a good Saturday for the books. Favorites lost, overs lost, a lot of teasers got blown out early. I actually did not watch a single minute of the Bengals-Titans game. I had -3, -3.5 on the Titans. A little disappointed there, not completely shocked, but I have no idea what happened. I haven't even had a chance to really watch the tape, and I probably won't get around to it this week. I don't think there's much I'm gonna gain from analyzing this tape. I asked Gil though, because we've discussed Mike Vrabel versus Zach Taylor in depth throughout the season, both on and off air. And I asked Gil, I said, so what happened? Did Vrabel just get out coached by Zach Taylor or what? And I said, based on just reading the box score real quick, it looks like the Titans got Tannehilled with those 3 interceptions. And Gil said, yeah, basically 3 bad interceptions. Not much you could do there. I feel like I got that game right. I handicapped it when it was 2.5. I said it would move to 3, move to 3.5. It would get to Bengals +4. It got to Bengals +4. Fortunately, I handicapped the game correctly. I was on the wrong side. Happens. Won't be the first. Won't be the last time that happens. But the Sunday game or Saturday night game, and by the way, I didn't get to watch the Bengals game because I was picking up a new dog, a 3-year-old rescue Chihuahua mix. I don't know what she's mixed with. She looks to me like she's mixed with a little bit of a coyote. Obviously, she's not actually mixed with a coyote, although that would be kind of crazy. She's super underweight. She's like 3 pounds. She came from a kill shelter. 3 years old, so I'm getting her big and strong, and she'll make she'll make an appearance on this podcast very, very soon in the future, as well as on Gil's show. I'm sure she'll pop up, and she'll definitely pop up on ESPN like my first dog has, as dog of the day at some point in the future. So I'm very excited for her to make her debut. I'm just getting her healthy, and I don't want to just scare her and show you a 3-pound skinny dog with her ribs showing. So I'm getting her all healthy before I start showing her off. But great dog so far, even if she pooped on the floor a couple times. But that's just what happens with dogs. The Packers game, the second game on Saturday, I did get home in time to watch most of this game. I expected the Packers to win. The 49ers cover. The 49ers ended up winning and covering. The Green Bay Packers are now the first team in NFL history to win 13 games, three straight seasons, and fail to even reach the Super Bowl. As a Packer fan, I could always link things to the Packers and discuss the Packers, and I try not to do it too much because I know not everybody wants in-depth Green Bay Packers talk. But when you watch the end of Brett Favre's career in Green Bay and the lack of help, they didn't get him Randy Moss when they had the opportunity. They passed over drafting wide receivers and guys that could help him. He ended up with the acrimonious split and went out sort of not the way Brett Favre should have left Green Bay. It's unfortunate because history seems like it's repeating itself, and it's repeating itself even worse the second time around with Green Bay year after year squandering incredibly talented rosters with Aaron Rodgers. And I just got the feeling that when he was walking off the field that he knows his career might not be over. He might not decide that it's time to hang up the helmet and go be a Jeopardy host or whatever. He might want to play another year or two or three, but I can't see him coming back to Green Bay after this. I mean, he's given the Green Bay Packers MVP seasons at the tail end of his career, not just MVP seasons, but some of the most elite quarterback seasons we've seen in modern NFL history, especially with the touchdown. When you look at it as ratios, not necessarily in volume, but his lack of interceptions over the last couple of years is extraordinary. He even, he's in some ways surpassed Brett Favre as a quarterback, and Brett Favre did things that only Brett Favre could do, playing half blacked out and on Vicodin and throwing balls that broke his receivers' fingers. He's one of a kind, but Aaron Rodgers has just been a joy to watch his entire career, even when, most Packer fans were not particularly receptive of him in the beginning. He's become a Hall of Fame quarterback, and we'll have a street named after him in Green Bay in the future. But I just think that was him walking off the field as a Green Bay Packer for the last time on Saturday with a look of disappointment on his face. And that some of that goes to what I've been saying about Matt LaFleur not deserving Coach of the Year. 13 wins 3 years in a row is great, but they just can't get over that hump, and they lost to the 49ers again. They lost at home. They had 2 kicks blocked, and that's it. They wasted another season of Rodgers, and that might be the end. He'll take some time to think about it, but I can't imagine that he wants to return to Matt LaFleur and a team that has not invested enough. I mean, after Big Bob Tonyan got injured, you just kind of go look down the list, the guys he's been throwing to, the tight ends he's been throwing to. It's just no comparison, especially when you look and sees what a guy like Brady was dealing with and playing with. And just look at the stats. Aaron Rodgers had zero faith in any non-Devontae Adams wide receiver versus San Francisco. The other wide receivers, tight ends, had 6 yards, the entire game on 104 routes run. So Rodgers has just kind of zeroed in on Adams in Green Bay, and he gets some help from the running backs, but that's it. I think we've seen him walk off the field as a Green Bay Packer for the last time, and if you had asked me before this game, I would have said I think he's coming back to Green Bay next year, but that's it. The happy endings don't write themselves often in the NFL, and I don't think we're going to get one here. As for the 49ers, though, I just spent all the time talking about the Packers. The 49ers are going to the NFC Championship game in LA. I will also be there. I'm very excited. I will be rooting for the Rams, who I think are going to win that game. But Brian Bolek, who I mentioned of the Bebo Knows podcast, the legendary gambling Twitter podcast that's had everybody important on it for the last, I don't even know, 10 years, however long it's been periodically recorded. But he pointed out, he said, for a franchise to make it to 5 combined NFC title games in the last 11 years with Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick, and Jimmy Garoppolo behind center tells you how well-rounded these teams have been. Very good tweet, Brian Bolek. Just wanted to copy that and cite you for pointing out something that I would not have thought of that. But yeah, I mean, that's a very good testament to the 49ers organization that they've been consistently good the last 11 years with those guys rotating in and out at quarterback. The Rams-Bucks game on Sunday was one of my more favorite games of the week. With the Titans losing and the Bills losing, I needed the Rams and the 49ers to both win to kind of even out the NFL weekend. Fortunately, I had some of those Dominican baseball games earlier in the week that helped a bit. But the NFL stuff was was a little choppy again, as it's been most of the season. Some highs, some lows, but at least you go 2-2. I'm not super upset with the weekend, especially when the quality of the games was, as many people are saying, some of the best ever. But I really wanted the Rams to win. They won. Cooper Kupp finished with 9 receptions, 183 yards, a touchdown. He went over on all his props. I think his receptions was 8.5. His yards was in the low hundreds. He had a 75-yard or so touchdown catch that, sorry, not a touchdown, 75-yard reception or whatever that went over his longest reception. He had a touchdown, so he scored the anytime touchdown. He should really have won the MVP. I still expect Aaron Rodgers to win it, but I don't know how you could have watched that game and watched the Packer game and come away with not saying Cooper Kupp has had the best season, has been the most valuable player to his team all season. Fortunately, voting was 2 weeks ago, and unless we get some sort of retroactive manipulation from the league to try to get Aaron Rodgers not on camera, I'm not saying that's actually going to happen, but you do have to think, though, they're doing this live award show right before the Super Bowl, and I wonder if Aaron Rodgers has any incentive to show up. And, I wouldn't put it past the NFL to manipulate the vote. They use referees to manipulate the games when necessary. And I don't mean that in some sort of conspiratorial way. I just mean, you want to call a huge pass interference penalty or a holding penalty to sort of stall a drive. The refs know how and when to manipulate games, and you're crazy if you don't think that the NFL officiating office instructs referees at certain times to call more and less penalties. For example, after the wild card round and the pushback from fans and media over the Jerome Bogart crew in the Bengals game, it is no surprise that the games this weekend had incredibly low amounts of penalties called. There was that random taunting call on Tom Brady, which was unusual, but in general, I did not see a lot of penalties called. I think in the Chiefs game, there was like 3 penalties the entire game. 4, I think, for all of regulation. I would expect that trend to continue this weekend and in the Super Bowl. The ref crews are being assigned. They're the ones that call the least amount of penalties, and they're definitely being instructed to swallow their whistles. That's to see. Look, this is a real show. I'm getting a call from my bookie right now. So we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna come back and keep talking about stuff that's going on. Welcome back, Wide World of Weingarten. That was an unscheduled break. I was planning on taking a break at about minute 15, so the break was coming up, but I decided to take it early because as this is an actual gambling show and the real world sometimes interferes, I did have to take a quick phone call. So that was the break. But we're back. I do often talk about this with Gil and some of my other friends who were on-air hosts at ESPN and VSiN, that they have such a hard job because they can't just take a break. They can't pick up the phone and make a phone call in the middle of a show. They can't go to the bathroom. I did ask one of my friends what happens when he has to go to the bathroom in the middle of a TV show. Because like me, I could just pause this and go to the bathroom and come back, and you might notice there's a cut, but it's much different when you're live, and I'm very happy that I don't do live television, and the live radio stuff I do on VSiN tends to not be as long as what hosting duties are, because it's really a lot of work, and I think it's underappreciated how hard it is to look good, how hard it, like a host like Gil, like I couldn't do his job. It's very hard to do 2-3 hours of radio a day and talk to people and not miss time. I could do like once a week, maybe every other week, maybe a little more than that. But anyway, back to football. The Rams game. Blanton scored the first touchdown. Backup tight end, 80-1. Kendall Blanton. That was a big winner for a first touchdown. I'd actually bet a Kendall Blanton first touchdown a couple weeks ago when Higbee was out. So finally, nice to see him score. I did not bet this one, but I was happy. The Rams. This is kind of the game where so even if you're not going to win some bets, and I did lose some prop bets on this game, but you can still be happy while losing if you're happy with your team winning, and because now I get to go to a championship game in LA, I was very, very happy with the Rams outcome, even though it wasn't exactly what I wanted financially. But Rams get Ernest Jones, rookie linebacker, back, looked good in his limited playing time before being injured. I think he had an interception in his first start. Taylor Rapp, safety, who I like, back after a concussion, will added depth to the secondary. Although you have to give a lot of credit to the Rams secondary, has held up 2 weeks in the playoffs with Eric Weddle coming out of retirement and Jordan Fuller not playing, Taylor Rapp not playing. They kicked the crap out of Kyler Murray, scored a defensive touchdown. I think it was actually a linebacker who scored it. But you got to give a lot of credit. David Long is held up. The Rams defensive backs have held up when a lot of people expected them not to, and they beat Tom Brady. They intercepted Tom Brady in a playoff game. Good stuff. Good stuff from the Rams. The entire Rams defense, especially that defensive line, obviously is the one that creates the pressure and really, makes everything happen. I expect similar performance this weekend versus 49ers. Revenge game after losing at home week 18 late after having a 17-point lead. But Ernest Jones, Taylor Rapp, Adrian Whitworth, starting tackle, all back for the Rams this weekend. I will break down this game more probably Thursday or Friday. I don't think the line's going to go crazy. The market, will take huge bets on this going into the weekend. There's no hurry to get down on this game, but like I said, I'm super excited. I'm going to be there. I have not missed a playoff game in LA since the Rams have come back, so that was cool. That's cool. I'm excited. Then we have Bills Chiefs, the last game of the week. One of the more exciting games of the year, of the decade, of the history of the NFL, of the playoffs. You could insert whatever you want there, but that was 42-36, flew over every number, flew over every conceivable number. Good game. I wish the Bills won, and this is kind of one of those things where I said you could still be happy when you lose money. You could still be sad when you win money too, although I didn't win money on this game. Just in general, for the Bills fans out there, for my friends, my actual friends that are Bills fans, I do know several Bills fans, and the Bills fans that I converse with on Twitter, and just the fans in general. Like, you could empathize with the fans of other teams and sports that you follow, and the last 2 minutes of that game, with the Chiefs scoring, the Bills scoring to take the lead back with 10 seconds, and then they lost, and they never touched the ball in overtime. I mean, those are the games that, as a fan, make it hard to go to sleep that night. You just toss and turn and think about what could have been and what wasn't. And Gabriel Davis, 8 receptions, 201 yards, 4 touchdowns, went over every touchdown prop, everything, anytime touchdown, to score twice, to score 3 times. There is no 4-time as far as I know, but he went over every number. Not that I know anyone who expected that or bet that, but you just wasted an elite performance by Josh Allen and Gabe Davis. And I know people are salty that they didn't touch the ball in overtime. I'm really okay with that, because for me, the whole thing with the NFL overtime is, don't let it get to overtime. Handle your business. and you don't let it get there. And that's always what it comes down to for me, is if you put yourself in a situation where you say, well, if only I didn't put myself in that situation, we would have won, then that's your fault for putting yourself in that situation. And I mean, it's just Patrick Mahomes. I've said before, he's the best quarterback in the NFL, and we often take for granted how good he is because he's unless he's doing something that he's never done before, like what he just did in this game. We're like, well, he hasn't won in a spectacular enough fashion lately. Let's give somebody else the MVP. I don't know. I think I can kind of go through a whole bunch of stats, but the highlights: Kansas City had the ball on the 25-yard line with 13 seconds left, down 3 points. They ran 10 more plays for 111 yards. That's bad. Patrick Mahomes passed for 170 yards after the 2-minute warning. That's absurd. Patrick Mahomes also, he led all players in the second round in rushing yards with 69. Pretty nice total. He was 80-1 to be the lead rusher this weekend. So again, big numbers everywhere. And speaking of big numbers, backtrack to the Rams for a second. I forgot to mention Cam Akers, who, for most rushing yards in the postseason. I mentioned that 28-1 before it started. 14-1 after the Cardinals game. It's now plus 450. He's the second favorite behind Elijah Mitchell. I would expect him to be the favorite if the Rams win this weekend, and I expect the Rams to win this weekend. So that's cool. Might have some live ticket, one live future that would kind of make up for the my futures book, which in general is seeing a lot of red this NFL season. It has not been a good future season for me, which sometimes happens, doesn't happen often, but I'm prepared for it, so not the end of the world. We have some golf to go over. This is gonna run a little bit longer just because sports. There's always so much going on, always so much to talk about. But Abu Dhabi this last weekend on the Dubai Tour, the DP World Tour, the formerly the European Tour. This was actually surprisingly a very nice course, and I mostly got to watch the final round because I was up with the new dog on Saturday night, just making sure she didn't poop on the floor and do things that new dogs do when they're home from the shelter for the first night. But it was a very nice links course, which was not what I was expecting from the Middle East swing. I usually I complain a lot about the Middle East courses and that they're usually like boring Greg Norman built monstrosities for players that have never businessmen that have never swung clubs before. So these pros come and they just bomb these courses. It was not like this at all. This was a English style links course, and it was incredibly challenging with the wind. It kept the scoring down. I was actually really, like I said, I was really impressed. So congratulations, Abu Dhabi, with building a great golf course and a watchable event. I did not expect to say those things about this course, and you'll probably see with some of the upcoming courses how different they are to this last one. If you were watching, I'm guessing not as many people were watching this as I was, but Thomas Peters, I think is how you say it. He won here at 10 under. His form is looking all right. If he shows up, I don't know if he's in the field at Riviera in a couple weeks. If he is, he will definitely be a guy that I'm looking at Riviera. I know he won at Riviera, I think, in college. Looks like his form was pretty good. I watched him a lot the last round, and he could be a guy we'd bet on at a decent number, maybe 35, 40, 45-1. 50-1 if we're lucky at Riviera, depending on how strong the field is. Typically a pretty strong field as it's an invitational. Rory Mcelroy, he did not start well, but he charged late on Sunday. A little bit too little, too late. But reminder that these guys, Hovland, Rory, Morikawa, who are all on the field for Dubai this week, can always come from off the pace late. So always be on the lookout. Rory, I got it like 66-1 live. Got down about the 20s, but really never made that final push. But you're always looking for something in an event like this where there was potential for a lot of chaos late. You can grab somebody at 66-1 like Rory Mcelroy. I'll do it again. Alex Bjork I saw snuck into a top 20. He was in contention as late as Sunday. Continues his run of good form that has carried over from the end of last season. I'll have to keep my eye on him if his odds stay juicy. Potentially a top 20, top 10 guy this week. I'm not expecting him to win, but I'll keep my eye on him, and I'll probably go back to the well with a lot of regulars in Dubai this week. I just need another day or so to go through the card and shop for prices. Tomorrow will be a fairly golf-centric show, as well as some baseball stuff. And then we'll get back into NFL going into the weekend. There's only the 2 standalone games, so it's much easier to talk about them one at a time as the game gets closer and we know what's going on and what isn't. On the PGA Tour in Palm Springs, the American Express, Hudson Swafford won at 23 under. I didn't have much in contention here. KH Lee was potential early, didn't make a run late. I did get a live bet on Francesco Molinari at 300-1, and he ended up tied for the lead at 20 under late on Sunday. I saw his odds dip as low as plus 340 to the second favorite at one point, and just from like an option sort of trading standpoint, and a lot of my golf trading is based on theoretical options, sort of the mathematics. Anytime you can get a 300-1 shot, you can get them down to plus 340. I mean, that's almost 99% of the way there. It's about 98% of the way there. So, those are typically the kind of bets you want to be making. If you can bet a huge number, if it's 300-1 or 100-1, and it gets down to the second favorite, you definitely made a good bet. I know it was a good bet, and fortunately, I was able to get down live a little bit on Swafford. I didn't go crazy, but I got enough down on Swafford that basically cleared my golf losses for the week. Can't say that about other things, but I did not lose money on golf because of the ability to bet stuff live versus what I had already bet. But yeah, I mean, you can get something down 98, 99% of the way there. You still know it's probably not going to win, but you do that enough times, you will get enough winners that it will make up for it. The only thing I don't like, as I mentioned before with futures, is that a lot of times if you hit the second favorite and it doesn't win, like a guy like Molinari was 300-1 this week, you're now going to probably get him 80-1 this week at Farmers, where you probably would have gotten 150 to 200-1 without this performance. So it's kind of the worst of both worlds. His odds at Torrey Pines have dropped, but he also didn't win at Palm Springs. So that's a risk with futures. I've discussed that before with Fernando Tatis and Vlad and a bunch of other guys. When you get second place, you tend to come back the season after, and you're no longer a value that you potentially were when you got second. Senior Tour also didn't really produce any results for me this week. Jerry Kelly tied for 12th, 10 under. Miguel Angel Jimenez and Steve Alker, who has been pretty elite on the Senior Tour since Monday qualifying and winning. They went to a playoff at 17 under, and Miguel Angel came out on top. On the second hole, I had a small bet live on Alker at 5-1. Naturally did not win. Knew it wouldn't win. But I was able to hedge most of it with some Miguel Angel at the start of the playoffs. So congratulations to Miguel Angel, one of the Senior Tour kings of swag. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at him on the course. Usually puffing a cigar. He's got the long hair, like yours truly. His is a little longer and greasier. But I admire him. I admire his the swag he walks around with on the golf course, and he's always good for a win or two, even though I never bet on him. But yeah, not the best golf weekend, but I was confident. I saw a lot of the guys I bet play well. Saw their form, so I was able to make some notes on guys I like going forward. This week, the Dubai World Tour moves from Abu Dhabi to Dubai for the Dubai Desert Classic, and the same guys headline the top of the field. They are probably getting some fat appearance fees to spend a couple weeks in the Middle East right now. Congratulations to those guys and their bank accounts. Rory Mcelroy, Victor Hovland, and Colin Morikawa are all, again, 10-1 or less. I won't be betting on any of them at the start of the tournament, although, again, like I've said, you get all three of these guys in the field. It would not be surprised to me if the entire rest of the field is essentially chasing them all weekend. They are head and shoulders above the rest of the competition, although there are some major winners like Shane Lowry making up the rest of the field, Tommy Fleetwood. There's not, I'm not saying they're slackers in the field, but Morikawa, Hovland, and Rory are top 10 PGA guys, and they're hanging out in the Middle East right now, collecting appearance fees, playing these courses. Probably we'll see them at Riviera though in a couple weeks, if not at Pebble Beach before that for sponsorship commitments. But a couple names stand out early for me. Sam Horsfeld looked good last week. He won a couple times in the recent past on the Euro Tour. He's 60-1. I think that's a big number. Guido Migliozzi, 150-1. Can't quit Guido even after he had a terrible weekend at Abu Dhabi on the links course, but maybe he's just not a good links golfer. I will dive into this event more tomorrow. I'm looking at Dean Burmeister and Lucas Herbert, favorites of mine on the Euro Tour, although Herbert, I think, has a PGA membership this year. Those two guys are worth a look, but I need to shop for numbers. I haven't had a ton of time to shop for golf numbers early in the week yet. And as I mentioned, the PGA Tour goes from Palm Springs to San Diego to play Torrey Pines this week, one of the better non-major courses on the tour. Jon Rahm is the favorite. Jon Rahm will be the favorite in every tournament he is entered in going forward in the near future. He's also the only guy under 10-1, but there's several other major golfers in this field. So huge tournament, and I think it ends Saturday, right? So it's not conflicting with NFL Sunday championships, which is also awesome. I will record a golf thing that will be out before Torrey Pines tees off, so you can get my final thoughts on this. It'll either come out later tonight or early tomorrow morning. But yeah, Rahm's the favorite under 10-1. Xander Schauffele will be a popular pick, as will Dustin Johnson, getting 25-1 or more. I mean, honestly, I might even bet some Dustin Johnson. Anytime you can get Dustin Johnson 25-1, you should probably take a little bite of that. But that's also kind of implying that we don't know what his form looks like. I'm interested though. I think gotta always look at DJ when he gets double digit 20s, like 20 handles like that. I did bet Maverick McNeely, as I mentioned a little bit yesterday. I will bet him every week till he breaks through or quits or goes to Europe or does whatever. Did his girlfriend win on the PGA, the Lpga tour this weekend? Can you excuse me 1 second so I could just confirm if that was true or not? Sorry, have to pull up stuff on my other screen. I got 3 screens on my computer over here for gambling and the VSiN thing. So hold on 1 second while I just pull this up. Yeah, Danielle Kang won the LPGA Tournament of Champions. I knew that. I just didn't write it down because I wasn't going to go through ladies golf today. So yeah, Maverick McNeely's girlfriend won last weekend. She keeps winning, and he hasn't. I don't know if it's girlfriend or fiance actually. And he's got to break through because it gets annoying when your girlfriend's winning tournaments and you're not. 60-1. I see he's 45-1 at DraftKings. I'll definitely bet him top 10, top 20. I would not bet him at odds of 58-1 or lower. So shop around. Don't take 45 at DraftKings. I can't advocate taking bad numbers. 60-1 is what I bet. If you can get higher than that, good for you. I saw some 70s early at the Euro books, but I think those are probably gone or inaccessible. Luke List, 70-1 at DraftKings, also stood out for me at first look, and I just have to find some more time to shop for prices. Francesco Molinari, 80-1, top 10, 7-1 or better will also likely make my card, although I'm disappointed these numbers would have been way higher if not for his runner-up finish. And I did notice no respect for Hudson Swafford, who won, shot a 23 under last week, and he's 150-1 to repeat at Torrey Pines, 11-1 for a top 10. I'm more interested in the top 10 because I think his form can carry over. I don't think he's going to win. It's incredibly hard to win back-to-back tours on the PGA Tour. It's such a rare feat. I don't ever really consider it. I think Brendan Todd did it once recently on the winner swing, but it's not something I ever think, oh, well, Swafford won, I'm going to bet him again the next week. But 150-1, I mean, maybe I'll throw $100 on it or something. I mean, his form was good, but, you know, that doesn't mean it carries over to Torrey Pines. It's totally different courses, and maybe he celebrated by getting wasted all week and was going to miss the cut. Also a good angle maybe to see if you get Hudson Swafford miss the cut, but I'll check that price. I haven't had a chance to look at any sort of make miss cut stuff yet. Grayson Sigg, 150-1 with a top 25 finish in Palm Springs. He's a favorite of mine. Likely will be on my cards going forward till he breaks through. Hayden Buckley, 200-1. Davis Riley, 250-1. Both also Corn Ferry graduates. Big numbers. Hope to see them break through. But yeah, we'll go through golf this week and futures on golf probably tomorrow. Like I said, it'll be a very golf-centric episode. And then a couple quick baseball notes. I noticed there was an article in the Los Angeles Daily News, the second paper in Los Angeles that does not get as much circulation or attention, but Bill Plunkett, who is a prominent Los Angeles area journalism, wrote about Trevor Bauer, and it was some interesting stuff. Basically, the too long didn't read of it was Trevor Bauer expects to pitch for the Dodgers in 2022, and I believe that to be true as well, mainly because the Dodgers need pitching depth, and Trevor Bauer happens to still be an elite pitcher. His personality is not necessarily anything to be proud of. I think he's kind of an asshole myself. Did a lot to kind of try to alienate his teammates before the allegations against him, although he has vigorously defended himself, and a judge did refer to his accuser as materially misleading, and just legal analysis, which I'm really not qualified to give. The judge had no reason to single out the accuser like that. I have to imagine that that's essentially a signal to the district attorney's office that they don't need to prosecute this. That this is not a case that somebody wants to fight, stake their career on, especially knowing the attorneys, the high-priced attorneys, Shauna Hawley, that Bauer is using. I would expect that the Dodgers have also discussed with their legal counsel the options to void his contract, and have been told that they're going to have to pay him a lot of money not to pitch. So given the choice between paying him to pitch and not pitch, I expect that when there is a baseball season, Trevor Bauer will be in spring training with the Dodgers, especially because he's going to continue to contend that he was not found guilty of anything, and therefore time served is his only punishment. He missed half the season, missed the playoffs, missed contributing to a potential Dodgers World Series. I think he will argue that he doesn't deserve any more suspension, and MLB is likely going to have other problems on its hands. There will be a lot of pushback from media, which will be to be expected and deserved. I mean, Trevor Bauer, like I said, he's an asshole, and he's alienated his teammates, he's alienated the fans, but contracts are contracts at the end of the day, and the Dodgers are a business, and they know that it's going to cost them tens, if not 20s, millions of dollars to pay Trevor Bauer to not pitch, and I can't see very many other teams wanting to take a chance at Trevor Bauer, so I think the Dodgers are kind of stuck with him for at least another year, and I expect Bauer is going to intend to show up to Dodgers spring training. How the Dodgers respond is to be determined, but like I said, Dodgers being business, they're probably going to allow him to come back, especially if you think like I do that Kershaw's probably going to the Texas Rangers. Can't see there's going to be a lot of veteran leadership in the locker room. Justin Turner, whoever else that's going to say, no, we don't want this guy here. I think regardless of your opinions on Trevor Bauer, I think they're going to be stuck with him. But we'll see about that. I just wanted to point out I read an article, and we're always trying to get ahead of the news for gambling, for fantasy, for drafting guys, everything. It's just the quicker we get the news, quicker we can react. And I do believe personally that Trevor Bauer will pitch for the Dodgers in 2022, and that is solely just based off what I've read so far in the local LA media. Besides Trevor Bauer, I mentioned a little bit of the Dominican finals last weekend. Last week, the Gigantes de Cibao won. I had two bets on that, 2 games. I won both of those. Hope that was fortunate that it sort of cut some of my NFL losses, made the week, some of the losses less painful. But that the series is over. The Dominican finals, the Gigantes are the champions, which now means the series Caribe, also from the Dominican and Santo Domingo, starts on Friday, and it runs until next Thursday. So we have baseball during the off week between the Super Bowl, 3 games a day. That's a decent amount of baseball, Friday to Tuesday. The Series Caribe is always a milestone for me because it marks the end of the winter ball off season, and it marks the start of baseball, regular season baseball for me, and baseball prep. I will start doing baseball prep approximately a week after the Super Bowl. I tend to kind of not do much the week after the Super Bowl. It's usually Series Caribe week after the Super Bowl, so it's kind of cool that it's before. Like I said, it's a milestone for the end of winter ball for me, and I'm currently looking for the official rosters for all the different teams. So I need another day or so to sort of do this, and we will do Series Caribe previews on Wednesday and Thursday, as well as I will be definitely on VSiN on Numbers Game with Gil talking about Series Caribe. Probably pretty often because I like talking about it and it's fun and people seem to like betting it. But yeah, the tournament, if you're not familiar with it, it features the winner of each of the top Latin American winter leagues. So the Charros de Jalisco are the Mexican representatives, the Krillos de Caguas from Puerto Rico, Barranquilla, I don't remember their team name, is the Colombian representative. The Venezuelan representative is to be determined, but I'm assuming it's the Leones de Caracas with Williams Astudillo, who I will also highlight later this week as having an elite winter ball season. If he can get at bats in the majors, he can definitely be a contributor Definitely a fantasy guy, if nothing else, if he has catcher eligibility. But El Tortuga, if you know him, having a great season, off season, winter ball in Venezuela. And the Astronauts de los Santos, Astronautes, I think is what they're in Spanish or something. They're the Panamanian representative, and don't count out the Panamanians. I remember a couple of years ago they were a last-minute replacement for Venezuela due to some political circumstances and visa issues, or it might have been Cuba. I honestly don't even remember. But the Panamanian team showed up. They were like expected to lose every game. They were like 4-1, 3-1 underdogs every game. I think they went undefeated or something and made it to the finals, where they finally lost to one of the powerhouse teams. But there's always some pretty good betting on these games, and we'll definitely talk about this as much as I can. As soon as I get more info, I have to translate stuff from Spanish and get the rosters, so we'll do a special Series Caribe show later this week. The Dominican champions, the Gigantes, will be there. They will be overwhelming favorites the entire tournament, as they will be playing at home. I don't know how they lose. I expect them to be the champions at the end of this tournament, but I don't see futures anywhere, so doesn't really warrant much talking about. But then also some Series Caribe news that might be exciting to certain people. I just saw the 2024 edition was announced. The location was announced, and it is going to be in Miami at the Marlins Stadium, Lone Depot Park. So I will be there. Gil will probably be there with me. We've really wanted to both go to a Series Caribe together. So hopefully we can start getting Veasan to do a numbers game on location at the Series Caribe in January 2024. We got to get that started, get that campaign started now, I think. It's kind of a joke, but not really. But yeah, that's some baseball news. So just quick little updates for you, and we will definitely have a lot of stuff to talk about going forward the rest of this week. If you made it this far, I've also bet the Rams already. Bet the Rams, laid the points on Sunday. So that's the show today. Running almost 50 minutes. Kind of like a double episode because I didn't do anything on Monday. But yeah, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, I hope you listened to it at double speed. And I'll be back tomorrow with a lot more golf, a lot more baseball, and the world never stops. Time is our enemy. We only have so much time, and there is so much to gamble on. So we'll be back tomorrow.